Hi friend, David here from Learn Stage Lighting, and today we're going to talk all about recycling. Recycling? That's right. How can you recycle bits and bobs from previous set designs or things like that to make something new with your stage? Ultimately, when we're talking about, as we are this month, lighting for a mid-sized venue, one of the biggest things I see people do is they finish with a set design, whether it's a patterned wall like I've got over here, whether it's a curtain that's lit with some gildables or some patterns. Maybe it's a bunch of equipment cases, that are arranged artistically around the stage. And when the time comes to be done with that set design, they just go pack it away, say, throw it away, whatever, say, we might use this again, we might not. Okay, one of the biggest things you can do, and I recommend people do, is if you're looking to save money and still make a really cool impact, is mix and match things that you've done in the past in a new way. How do you do this? Well, it could be really simple. Like, take wall panels like these that I've got behind me here. This is just a three-dimensional cardboard style wall panel. I'll link to them below. You can get them on Amazon as well as other places. And in this arrangement, I wish I had more with me. They're nailed to the wall right here because this is permanent for me. And they're just in a grid, right? Think about some different ways you could lay this out for different designs, okay? You could use them as grids up along the side of the stage vertically. You could use them on the front of your stage between the ground and as the stage skirt. Okay, you could use them, for example, as interspersed. So maybe you have some blocks of 4, and maybe you do a couple of those in some places around your stage and intersperse some lights or some other elements between them, right? Maybe you've used, and I've mentioned here before, LED pixel Christmas light type lights, okay? And you take a string of those, and maybe for Christmas, you string them up like Christmas lights. Then, you go ahead, let me pull some out. Nothing like a wad of Christmas lights, right? Then you pull them out later, and maybe this next time, you go and you line your risers with them. Or you stick them through a different material, like you can use Coroplast. You could buy pre-made things from sites like boscoyostudio.com. We'll link to that below. And you can arrange these same pixels with the controllers you already purchased in a new way. That's another really cool thing you can do. Maybe you go ahead and reuse some lights that you had. Like, I don't know about you, but pretty much every church or venue I've walked into has somewhere in a corner or a back closet these lights that they have, right? They're like, okay, well, these are some LEDs we bought. They were cheap ones. We bought them for such and such an occasion. We used them a few times. Now they're in the back corner. We've got nicer stuff, but, now they're in the back corner doing nothing. Well, reuse those lights. Take those old lights, and if they're not suitable for your stage, maybe they flicker on camera or something, put them out in the lobby, lighting a wall with some texture like this. This is just a simple downlight. Take them and truly make the space you have something special with an experience. This principle works as well if you use multiple set designs together. Like just going and taking something like these wall panels, you can go ahead and alternate. Maybe you do wall panels, Christmas light panel, wall panels, Christmas light matrix, wall panels, Christmas light matrix. And you go back and forth between the two, and all of a sudden you have something new, something that's interesting and dynamic and different, and something where, ooh, this is cool. You could go ahead and during certain parts of your set, your service, or for certain weeks, you turn off the lights on these panels. You turn on the Christmas light pixels. Vice versa, you turn off the pixels, they descend into darkness behind the stage. Then you turn on these wall panels, and then you can have them together. It's 3 different, completely unique looks you can get out of the same exact stuff. And so ultimately, when it comes to lighting that mid-sized venue, reusing things that you've built or you've used in the past on your stage in new ways is one of the best ways to create life to your stage. Now, the same concept works as well when you're talking about the room, when you're talking about enveloping the audience into what's happening on the stage. Take that older stuff, maybe they're older, cheaper, less bright LED fixtures, hang them out over the audience and light the audience. Give some splash of color out there or on the walls, right? Or as an entrance, even in a lobby, right? When you do this, it's going to create that cohesive feeling. I mean, this is what happens at places like Disney, where they are experts at architecting, or Las Vegas, right? Where they're experts at architecting these immersive experiences where you walk in and you feel like you're in a completely different and unique space. At the end of the day, it really just takes some intention, and then you're able to do this stuff. They are the world's best, and they do an amazing job, but you can get like 80% of the way there with just some simple stuff. So if I have any homework for you this week, it's this. Think about pieces you've used in the past or things you might use in the future. And when you're creating a set design, or you're going to borrow something from someone else, or even if you see something on the side of the road, take a look at it and say, okay, how can I use this light or this piece of set in multiple ways? How could I build it in a way that's somewhat modular so that I can use it again multiple times to be able to create different looks and get different cool things out of the same look, out of the same gear? Because ultimately, your audience is the people that come into your room, whether it's a church and it's your congregation, whether it's a band at a show, whether you're a DJ. They're not going to be the same every night. And also, if you take something you used previously and change the way that you use it, it's going to look new to the audience. And so for no money, basically, maybe a little bit, you've repurposed something that you had before to create something entirely special and new. If you liked this, be sure to grab my free guide to begin with lighting over at learnstagelighting.com and subscribe here, because next week we're going to talk about control solutions for the mid-sized church or venue. When you're looking at controls, when you're considering how am I going to control the lights that I have, what do you look for? In the next video, we're going to talk about just that. We'll see you there. Thanks.